Welcome to Yellowknife's Winter Garden and Extreme Winter Duck Racing 2021, brought to you by Cabin Radio, Makerspace, YK and the International Duck Bobsled Federation. The lights just coming on here at the track inside the Winter Garden, the officials inspecting the finish, the pit lane very busy as our 6 teams of 2 duck bobsleds get ready to go. Now, we filmed this earlier. This is the track this evening. Not much use for right-hand turns on this track. It's all left all the way. The ducks will start at the top and then they'll have to negotiate this sequence of left-handers through to the finish line there, and we will be timing them all the way. Time trials followed by quarterfinals, semi-finals, and a final tonight. Finishing touches there to the finish line, and we're just about ready to get underway. This, the view from the start, and this, the start list for the time trial. Yukon will go first, followed by Manitoba, Ontario, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Alberta. These, of course, the provinces and territory that came through the regional qualifiers earlier on in the year. Let's meet them now. Here is Team Alberta, of course, sporting that traditional Alberta hunting attire. They'll be hunting for gold today. Team Saskatchewan all wrapped up in a neat-looking toque there and ready to go for this afternoon's competition. Of course, the Yukon looking forward to representing the North in today's action with some very fancy headwear as well. Not to be outdone is Team Ontario, of course. They have all the funding in the world, but will it translate to success? Meanwhile, Manitoba have done well, maybe the outside contenders to have reached this stage in the competition. They'll be looking to go far tonight. Now, for many people, these might be dark horses. New Brunswick have worked very, very hard to get here. Keep an eye on that sou'wester tonight, and we'll see how we get on. The track is clear right now. We are just about ready to go with the first of our time trial contenders. I'll send it up to the top, and our starter, Megan Brackenbury.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
There we go then, Team Yukon on the way now, immediately into a spin there, heading down the track in reverse, but they are clear across the finish line. 4.83 seconds, the time set by Team Yukon. That, of course, puts them in first place as the only team so far to have gone. You can see them there reversing their way down the track. That is a fascinating and quite unique technique being displayed there by Team Yukon. Across the finish line there from the overhead camera, sliding to a halt just in front of the back camera behind the finish, and they set the opening time today.
4,
back to the top for Team Manitoba.
3, 2, 1, go!
4.83 seconds then to beat for Team Manitoba. Oh, losing their way, and that's a catastrophe for Manitoba there. They're not even going to make the finish line. A broken helmet comes to a rest just on the finish line itself, and that is a DNF for Manitoba. You could see where it all went wrong. A tiny little rut in the track, slamming into it, overturning perpendicular to the track, and not even having the momentum to reach the finish. That is a disaster for Manitoba. It doesn't mean they're out completely. It means the quarterfinals for them.
4,
Ontario next.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ontario on the way then. 4.83 to beat. Now they're all over the place really with the steering, but they're coming through at quite a lick across the finish line, and 4.43 is enough to send Ontario into provisional first place. Again, maybe not the smoothest of runs. I think you will see maybe an opportunity for teams to improve on that, but Ontario will be very happy that they have at least got a time on the board. Saskatchewan now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Saskatchewan underway. Nicely done on that opening turn. What a smooth run this is across the finish line. Maybe a little bit of trouble just coming to a halt, but 4.05 seconds. What a time from Saskatchewan. And as you can see, this was a smooth ride, leaning into the corners there. Of course, they spend years training together to get that exactly right. And while there may have been a missing helmet just across the finish line there, what style, sliding to a halt from Team Saskatchewan. And they will be very happy indeed, even if one of the 2 teammates didn't quite reach the end.
4,
Now, New Brunswick.
3, 2, 1, go!
New Brunswick underway, and this is smooth again. Now we've lost a sou'wester in the back there, straight through, slamming into the back camera on the course. 3.98 seconds, track record from New Brunswick, and that means they head into first place. What a run that was from New Brunswick. We said they could be outsiders to take this one, and they are looking in quite some form this evening. Alberta, last to go.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
So 3.98 the target. Can Alberta do anything? Oh, look at this. They're zigzagging everywhere. This has gone wrong. and they're not even going to make the finish line. The camera pans across as a disastrous scene for Team Alberta. It's not the end for them. It means they will go into the quarterfinals instead. No semi-final bye for the Albertans. And you can see they just never got the line right, to and fro all the way across. The sled couldn't take it. The Ducks unseated, and Alberta, that means, will be unseated for the quarterfinals. Results then: New Brunswick top with 3.98. Manitoba and Alberta did not finish. That means Ontario will face Manitoba in the quarterfinals, and Yukon will face Alberta. We start with Ontario,
4,
Manitoba.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go then, underway in this, the first of the quarterfinals, and this looks like it's going to be relatively straightforward. No! Oh, look at that, a collision just approaching the finish line. My goodness me. Now let's take a look at the replay here to see precisely what went on. There's Manitoba at the top, Ontario slamming into them, and Ontario pushing Manitoba across the finish to win. Ducks everywhere, sheer chaos, but all that matters is where the sled finishes, as long as at least one duck is in it. And it's Manitoba pushed across the finish by Ontario. What drama! Now Alberta, Yukon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go with quarterfinal number 2. This replacing the semis, and this one's looking a lot tighter here, but it is going to be Yukon across the finish line. And again, Team Alberta have to look at themselves and say, where did it all go wrong? There you see the Yukon across the finish. Neither team really with that much momentum. Alberta once again, both ducks out of the sled. They really have to go back and look again. Now we move to the semi-finals. That means Yukon goes through, Manitoba goes through, New Brunswick against Manitoba first.
1, go!
Off we go. This, a clash of the great helmets in this race, and my goodness me, look at that. Well, there's absolutely no need to look at the replay for that. New Brunswick have absolutely aced it. Look at the distance. Practically finished by the time Manitoba had even made it halfway down the hill. New Brunswick sailing off into the distance there. Manitoba, well, they made it across the finish this time around. But a disappointing end to proceedings for them, sliding across that finish. And it means New Brunswick into the finals. Saskatchewan,
5,
Yukon.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go then, this to decide a place in the final. Saskatchewan and the Yukon, it's tight, it's tight, it's tight! I can't call it! I cannot call that between Saskatchewan and the Yukon. We're going to have to look at it again, even there. That is impossible to tell which set of ducks made it across the line first. Let's see if we can slow this down a little more. It's Yukon in front here, Yukon on the left-hand side, and it's Yukon! Yukon have just taken that by the tiniest feather breadth of a duck's wing. It is the Yukon who will go through to the final. One of the most dramatic races we've seen in the history of rubber duck bobsledding. It is Yukon who will face New Brunswick for gold here tonight. The final coming up in just a few seconds' time. Here we go. Who will win the first ever duck bobsled world title?
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
They're underway, and it's so tight at the top there, but look at this, we've got a clear winner! A clear winner! There's a sou'wester tossed across the finish line, but there's no doubting New Brunswick are the inaugural duck bobsled world champions. Oh, what a victory for New Brunswick there. Yukon have looked so impressive all the way through this event. Even though they set one of the slower times in the time trial, they stepped it up all the way through, but they had no answer. Look at the line taken by New Brunswick there. Yukon couldn't get it together. New Brunswick just flying across that finish line, and the Yukon had absolutely no answer. Look at that, still the speed as they cross the finish line, take the gold. It's silver for Yukon. It's not the end of the world, but what a race and what a win. Your 2021 champions in the inaugural Duck Bobsledding World Championship here at Yellowknife's Winter Garden. New Brunswick on the right, Yukon silver on the left. Thanks for joining us.